Okay, so today is Thursday, January 29th, what's that, the 22nd? 29th, 2026. It is the last Thursday of the month. So we are going to do a January in review, but we'll get to it in a bit, just going over the week. First and foremost, I don't know if you can really see some of the snow in the background, maybe kind of. But yeah, there was a really big winter storm that hit on Friday and then kind of hit again on Saturday. Luckily, I was safe. Me and all my friends and family are safe. At least I think so. There's some people I guess I haven't heard from everybody. I'm hoping everyone is. But, doing fine. I specifically made sure, on Wednesday and Thursday, actually might have been Thursday and Friday, before the snow hit, I'm going to make sure that I've got plenty of food. So if I do get snowed in and I really can't leave, I'm Gucci. And that's exactly what I did. I still have some of it left. Because, I pretty much over the weekend, I did almost nothing. I did not leave the house. I sat in the house, played Kai, and watched football on Sunday. And ate a lot of random crap, a lot of snacking, had a lot of M&Ms. It was honestly kind of lovely. And luckily, we didn't lose power over the weekend. Though, there's a funny story with that happened yesterday. So, I had a day off. Yes, I was off Tuesday and yesterday. So, Tuesday was just I'm going to do nothing but play trails, and it's going to be awesome, and it was. While also realizing I do have stuff I need to do, some, actual errands, but also just, let me sit down, let me, hunker down on this Ayla chapter, because I've written it, it's done, it's Gucci, I just want to review it, make some kind of I don't want to say last minute edits, but let me make sure that it all flows well, make any last minute changes that I think I need to, and then I could probably get ready to post it. Just kind of some other stuff. But I had done some kind of minor things that I needed to do, but before doing any of the big boy stuff, the errands or working on Ayla, I was I could, or I could just sit there and play trails. And I kind of just want to sit there and play trails. Look, I did some stuff I was supposed to do. Not a lot, but I did some stuff. Surely I can now sit down and reward myself by playing some trails. So I sit down, and I probably play about 2 minutes before we lose power. And I just kind of was yeah, I did a little bit of stuff, so I got to play a little bit of trails today. That's funny. So then I left the house to actually go do some errands. Got a lot done, and then when I came back, the power was back. And very much to me, it just felt like God really does have a sense of humor sometimes. But, that happened. I thought that was kind of neat. So talking about trails, I'm about 30 hours in. I'm on, oh gosh, I hate that I have to say it like this, because I've looked at the guide, because of course I'm using a guide, I gotta do 100% completion. At least as close to it as I'm gonna get. But I'm okay, so there's prologue, act 1, and then chapter 1, 2, 3, act 2, chapter 1, 2, 3, intermission, act 2, part 2, chapter 1, 2, 3, act 3, chapter 1, 2, 3, act 3, part 2, chapter 1, 2, 3, and then the finale. I'm why isn't it just act 1, act 2, intermission, act 3, act 4, act 5, and then the finale? Why are we doing some weird Homestuck act 1, act 2, part 2, chapter 3? Just why is it like this? But I am on act 2, part 1, chapter 3, Teenage Kraken. I am on Kevin's first chapter. I did Reen's first chapter, and I did Van's chapter in part 2. So far, it's a Trails game. I'm enjoying it. I, can't put it down. I think it was on Tuesday when Clay got back from work. He was okay, when I left, you're about 17 hours in, and now you're at 26 hours. What the hell did you do today? I was dude, here's the crazy part. I actually took a couple breaks. I took a break. I went on a nice drive, took some nice pictures of the lake where there's still some ice and snow. I took another break and I went for a walk. I didn't get super far because I'm trudging through the snow, but it was nice. I have actually done other stuff, but I also played, I guess, 10 hours of trails. So there's that. There are things I don't like, because there are just things I don't like about Calvard. Notably, and I don't remember if this happened in other games as well, it might have. I hate that a boss can just say, you know what, you've done a lot of damage to me, so I'm just gonna buff myself. And I don't mind that a boss is gonna say, here's a move where I can give myself buffs because I need it. I hate the vast amount of HP that it gives them, because it's not just, here's a big buff and maybe health regen, it's, I'm gonna give myself 40,000 HP back. Like, that's like, I don't know, 30 turns of work. Maybe not quite that much. I mean, it depends on if I was able to pull off an S-craft or not and, like, get good crits and shit. I'm like, that's a lot of time, work, and, like, resources that I have to redo just to get back to where I was. Plus the other, like, 80,000 health that you have. And really hoping you don't do this again, because there's nothing I can do to stop it. It's not an S-craft. It's not like a healing art that I can impede, or like a big charging craft that I can impede. It's just, I'm going to heal myself for a lot. Fuck you. Hope it wasn't a crit, because then they're going to heal even more. And yeah, I also just don't love the, like, you can't steal bonuses. Like, you can, kind of, but, like, you can't interrupt the way you could in the other games, and I really don't like that. Sky the First was kind of like that too, but I think there were, like, more crafts that were just like, yeah, you can use this to specifically steal bonuses. And one thing I have learned is that S-crafts will always steal a bonus. I don't like it as much as, you know, in other games, but I felt like there were more options. In Calvard, I don't feel like there's as many options. Like, I have some problems with it, which are the same problems I had in other games. Also, they fucking neutered the basketball minigame. Here, it's just, hey, cool, you can shoot a free throw. And that's it. Not even like, hey, you can, like, keep shooting as much as you want. You just do one, and then it ends. Whereas in the other game, in Kuro 2, my much maligned Kuro 2, there was a whole mini game, and it was actually really fun, and I low-key unironically loved it. Like, man, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I miss Kuro 2. At least in one particular aspect. Like, in terms of the story, there's stuff happening. We'll see how it all comes together. I feel like I'll say this. I'm not at a point where I'm like, yo, the story is gripping. Like, I can't put it down because that's how my ADD works. Like, it's a Trails game. There's a lot to do, and I'm loving it because I love the gameplay loop. Even if bosses will say, I'm going to get 40,000 health back. And I love a lot of the character moments. Like, the whole auction in Van's route was just so freaking funny. I love a lot of the world building and just the lore aspects coming together. I think overall story, we're building something, and I really want to see where it goes, because I don't know what happens in Kai, and I made a point for the last couple years. I'm not going to look it up. I'm not going to know what happens. All I know is shit happens in this game, and you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And I'm like excited, but I'm cautious. I'm nervous-sided. I shouldn't have said cautious, I just said nervous, but I'm nervous-sided there. But that's that. I got my tier lists done. I did the last one last week, so all my 2025 tier lists are taken care of. Excuse me. So Ayla, new chapter is supposed to go up tomorrow. I say supposed to, because I had said when I was talking about, like, the thing with the power, like, I wanted to give it a once-over, make some edits. There were some bits where I'm like, oh, I do need to make sure I look at this. You need to make sure I look at this. And when I finished my edits, I was like, okay, I don't know about this. Because, like, the last few pages, like, minor spoiler, like there's a monster fight. A monster shows up, it's fought, it's defeated pretty easily. And I'm looking at it going, I feel like this is way too easy. Like there's, at least for me, I'm like, I don't really see that much tension here. And it's almost there's not a lot of tension, and it's kind of intentional because, yeah, like this is what's going to happen when you have a bunch of people working together to kill something that's not like really high level, or like fighting something that's not super balanced around that. Like that makes sense. I can buy it. And it's kind of also there to show one particular character. It's this character is kind of an idiot, but they are ridiculously strong, which is why they're one of my favorites. Like, oh gosh, I'm so excited that Alucard finally gets introduced. I love him. But I'm also like, it still feels like it's missing something. So I need to mess with that. So chapter should still go up tomorrow. I'm kind of going to do some of that tinkering like today and like tonight and tomorrow. I just need to make sure I get it done. Like to a point where like I am genuinely happy with this. I'm going to post it. Because I don't want to post a chapter that I think this feels substandard. Like this feels like there's something missing or something wrong. I want to make sure I'm happy with it before I post it. So there's that. Just some other stuff. So Dragon Ball is getting a new series, or it's not, it's a continuation of Super, and it's some stuff that happened in the manga. I mean, it's, on the one hand, I'm like, it's Dragon Ball, I know I'm going to watch it. I'm like, I didn't actually watch Daima, though. But I'm expecting to watch Super. Frieren Season 2. I watched the first 2 episodes. I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't know if like other people have noticed this, but I don't know. The visuals felt off in the first 2 episodes. Like the character designs still look like the characters, and like it's still colorful, it's still pretty. I think for me, like the 2 things I can point to, I don't remember how often this happened in season 1. Maybe a lot more than I realized, and I'm just, I don't know, like I'm giving season 2 flack for something that's always been there. But I noticed in the first 2 episodes, a lot of shots where the characters didn't have faces. And I understand that. Like that's generally this is more to show perspective, or it's more to show the background. So you're not really supposed to be focusing on the characters. And because of that, you know, the details on their faces like don't have to be as big, because these weren't in between frames. Like these were still shots, and I was just kind of sitting there. I was like, this has happened a lot in these 2 episodes, and it's really distracting to me. It's just one of those things, whenever I notice it, even if I understand, like it's just always going to distract me. And like I said, I don't remember that happening a lot in season 1. So either it did, and I just didn't notice, or no, this is a decline in quality, or at the very least, like they're going in a little bit of a different direction that I don't care for. Also, at least for me, like during that demon fight at the end of the 2nd episode, just the actual like explosion effects, like I don't know. These don't look great. Granted, I don't think I'm necessarily expecting some of the shit from like the Frieren fight at the end of season 1. He's like, yeah, that looked incredible. Like kind of needed to look incredible. This, like, you can maybe get away with it because it's not as big, it's not as impactful, but I don't know, it still didn't, I don't know, it felt okay. And even the sound design on it, like I felt like I was literally hearing like pew pew pew. I was like, this doesn't, like I feel like the quality of like the writing and the character moments in these couple episodes was still there, but the presentation felt a little off, and I don't know if that was just me. I listened to the next Migment album, that's Little Dark Age. I listened to it a couple times. I do plan on doing like a short little thing on it, but I listened to it a couple times while playing Trails, and I'll just go ahead and say I liked it a lot. I'm like, I really enjoyed it. It had this very tongue-in-cheek feel to it, which is kind of what I've come to expect from them. and I really liked it. I started the Scarlet Letter last night. Didn't get super far. I only read a couple chapters. But excited to finally read it. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm considering also listening to an audiobook. And I'll put it like this. I don't know if I'm going to do that while listening to the Scarlet Letter, while reading the Scarlet Letter, because I have a physical book for that. Or if it'll be, okay, I'm going to read this, and then when it's done, this is the next book I'm going to do. But the next one's going to be Confederacy of Dunces, because I've listened to part of the audiobook before, like on a road trip, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And I am so excited. And I'm like, I want to read it, because I haven't been reading physical books in a really long time. So, like, I made a point to do that with Catcher in the Rye. I made a point to do that with Scarlet Letter. But the audiobook, like, the performances in Confederacy's audiobook are so funny. Like, I'm gonna give myself an out for this. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, I was having a conversation with Jose and Clay the other day. We were just talking about Fate. I'm like, okay, is this character in Fate? Is this character in Fate? It's like, well, yes, no, and then look it up. Okay, no, so they are. They're just not in Fate Go. Like, they're in this other thing. And at one point, Jose is like, I'm not gonna name the character. I'm just gonna show you a picture. And he shows me the picture of Nick Offerman as Ignatius. And I'm like, I know exactly, like, who you're talking about, because I've looked into this. No, I don't think Ignatius J. Riley is in Fate. But if he was, his class would have to be writer, because of the time he went to Baton Rouge. I was like, it was great. And then Clay's like, well, there's that. There's also the time with a hot dog cart. So I don't know, maybe. But it's like, sure. Like, I guess Ignatius is a writer because of that bus trip and the freaking hot dog cart. But I am really excited to get into that book as well as getting into the Scarlet Letter. Just some sports stuff. OKC lost 10 games. They officially cannot tie or break Golden State's record. And there's the part of me that's like, man, I was really hoping we could break the record. But also, I'm not that disappointed, because I would rather focus on us winning a second chip than breaking the record. Because the last team that did it didn't win the championship, and I would rather have the hardware. Not that I will actually have anything. I'm not part of the team. But as a fan, I would rather cement our legacy winning 2 in a row back-to-back, something that has not been done in a really long time. And I think with the record no longer being attainable, we can focus on that more. And so I'm hoping we do. And then in terms of the NFL, which is kind of the last thing before just January in review. So number one, how the fuck does Bill Belichick not become a first ballot Hall of Famer? That's 2 rings as an assistant, 6 rings as a head coach. I believe that's the most playoff wins of any head coach, second most regular season wins of all time. And really the 3 things I have heard as the potential for why he wasn't first ballot is either, number 1, just genuine personal bias and agenda against the dude, which I don't want to say fair, because no, you shouldn't be doing that if you're voting to get someone in the Hall of Fame, especially someone who's such a no-brainer. But I at least can kind of understand. It's like, look, I hate the dude. I'm not putting him on my ballot. Kind of invalidates you as a voter, I think, but sure, at least you can own it. If the argument is because of the cheating scandals, I mean, there's an argument for that, definitely. But number 1, I guess that's like point A, there was already like discipline from the NFL. So I don't know if we really have to relitigate the issue. And B is so if you're not going to give Belichick a first ballot Hall of Fame because of like Spygate and the Deflategate shit, then surely Brady's not going to be first ballot either for the same reasons, right? Surely Kraft as the owner isn't going to be first ballot for those issues either, right? Because Kraft is on the ballot this time too. So Kraft might get in and Belichick won't. even though, as the owner, like, he would have the same, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And the other thing I've heard is like, well, yeah, but that's because he had Brady. Like, look at his career with Brady. Look at his career without Brady. Okay. Do we really want to go that route? Do we really think that Brady would have those 6 rings as a Patriot? So, yeah, 7 total. One of them has nothing to do with the Patriots, so, like, I'm not going to bring up the Tampa Bay ring. And you can argue, it's like, oh, you're not going to bring up the one championship he had outside of Belichick, which kind of, proves the whole point. To me, it doesn't. Because, like, look, Brady's first ring, I think they scored 10 or 13 points in that game. And against the greatest show on turf, that is a ring won by your defense. And that's Belichick's bread and butter. His last ring is a Patriot, also against the Rams. I think that is kind of a neat bookends. Also, you scored about 13 points in that game because that was a defensive game, and that, like, incredible Rams offense was only held to 3 points. You cannot tell me that Brady carried Belichick when at least 2 of those rings were very clearly won by the defense. And I don't want to try to make an argument either about, Brady was Belichick carried Brady, because Brady has also had some incredible Super Bowls. He has had some incredible games and incredible game-winning drives. I genuinely feel like, they needed each other, because Brady needed incredible defenses to, like, hold down the fort. But also, Belichick needed a great quarterback to be able to win the games. That's kind of how shit works. Complimentary football. How is he not in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot? It really is that... as a coach now, you basically can't, because of, like, how this fucks up the precedent. It's a bad look. But you know what wasn't a bad look? The conference championship games, because they were kind of awesome. This might be a spicy take. I enjoyed the AFC championship more than the NFC championship. Both games were really good, because these playoffs have been insane. Where, like, every game is coming down to the wire. Every game comes down to these last couple minutes. But me personally, I'm sorry, but just the entire second half of it is snowing, it is a blizzard, you can't see the markers on the field, let alone the New England jerseys. So when they're on offense, Drake May, like, can't see his O-line and can't see his receivers. But on defense, they're just ninjas popping up out of nowhere to make tackles and intercept passes. Like, this is cool to watch. And because it's such a close game, and these are elite defenses, and I had said, I think Denver's going to win because I think that defense is going to score. I was wrong. The defense did not score. The defense did not get a turnover. It was New England's defense who was able to make the turnovers. But knowing that at any point, the defense could make that huge play. Maybe they could get close enough to kick that field goal. And at one point they did, and he just missed it because it got tipped. It was that freaking close. And both teams went for it on a 4th and 1 early, or not necessarily early, but before the blizzard. Denver could not convert, and, like, that play call was blown up immediately. Like, that. I'm not going to say take the points, because it was early in the game. You're already up a touchdown. You can make the argument. It's like, 100% you should have just went to be up double digits. I'm like, you know what? You're trusting your defense. You're going to back them up even if you don't get it. You've got a backup quarterback. And you've got some momentum. Maybe you do just want to capitalize. I can see it. We also saw other missed kicks, like, throughout the day before the blizzard. It's not a guarantee. But the points probably would have been the better option, especially in hindsight. Because even Romo was saying before the play happened, he's like, I think they should just kick this. And then, everything went to shit. The Patriots also had a 4th and 1, which they converted, and then a few plays later kicked the field goal anyways, which was literally the difference in the game. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't think they converted it. Like, in real time, I was like, that looks short, but okay. And then when you see the replay, like, that looks short. but I don't think that's conclusive to overturn. And there's that part of me that's like, some questionable, key decisions having questionable outcomes and elite defense. This definitely sounds like a Patriots Super Bowl. But it was a game where I didn't feel like I was constantly questioning the officiating. I was just like, yeah, I thought that was short, but not so conclusively so that I think it's bullshit. I'm questioning Jared Stidham's decision making. What was that? Getting rid of the ball. Dude, just take the sack. But congratulations to the Patriots. And congratulations to the Seahawks. They beat the Rams. It was a close game throughout. There were definitely arguments about, should the Rams have taken the points at the end of the game? I don't know. Because on the one hand, to me, that has been the Rams' identity throughout a lot of the year, is in these 4th and 1, 4th and 5 or below. I saw them go for it a lot and normally convert, because this is our identity, is we have an elite offense. We have arguably the MVP at QB. We have, I think Devontae Adams was leading the league in touchdowns. We have the touchdown leader as well. We're in the red zone, because I think they were in the red zone in that 4th and 4. If not, they were just outside of the 25 or something. We're here against the best team in the league. At least the best defense. Well, again, there's arguments was Houston a better defense? The Patriots, Denver. One of the best defense, and we kind of got them on their heels. We need to finish the job and take the lead. Because if we kick a field goal, we're only down 1. We also have to make sure we stop them again. And maybe we can do that. Maybe we can't. Let's do this now. But they didn't convert. And then the Seahawks basically bleed out the clock the rest of the way. The Rams do get the ball with no timeouts, and they run 2 plays, and they can't get it to midfield. So if they had taken the points in the 4th and 4, it wouldn't have changed anything. If that 4th and 1 that Stafford picked up with his legs, which was a really weird thing that happened, but it was cool, maybe then they would have had more time and could have gone down the field and kicked a field goal, but I don't know. This was a game that did have me scratching my head with some of the officiating, where I'm like, okay, we're really going to call taunting? I get it. It's the letter of the law. He is literally looking at the other bench and saying shit. And I don't know what he said, because maybe Woolen said something. I was like, yeah, you kind of have to throw the flag there. But I'm also dude, the Rams just got stopped on a 3rd down. Seahawks are about to get the ball back. You can feel the emotion. He's at home in the conference championship. Yeah, against a division rival. Kind of expect there to be some shit talking and some emotion. Really? And then I think it was literally the next play, if not the one after the Rams score a touchdown on Tariq Woolen. A little questionable. But the Seahawks did get away with pass interference in the end zone, where it was on offense, where I don't remember if it was who it was. I want to say it was Luke Bobo, but might not have been. He's just got his hand on the other dude's helmet and pushes off. They didn't score on that play. But that was clear PI, and they kicked a field goal, but with the extra yardage, I don't remember where they were on the field. I think if it had been called, they still definitely would have been in field goal range. They probably make it. But in a game that's decided by 4 points, you probably still should have called the penalty. Maybe McVay doesn't even take it. He's like, yeah, they can just kick the field goal. It doesn't matter. But that was something that the Seahawks got away with that maybe... Let me put it sorry. Words hard sometimes. They didn't benefit from the play itself, but the penalty might have screwed them over. There was also a part where, I saw Stafford get pulled down by his face mask and not get called. That. And I think the Rams had to settle for a field goal on that drive. That was huge. But I also saw pass interference not get called. I was like, wait. the Rams quarterback gets called, like gets pulled down by his face mask and it's not called. But then later, the other team, like a clear pass interference doesn't get called. What the fuck? No, we're not doing this again. And I get it, because like, the ball was out of bounds. Like, the ball was uncatchable. But I'm like, well, I don't know though. Like, Shaheed maybe could have done like a toe tap, extend to catch the ball, which he couldn't because he was getting clearly fucking shoved before it got there. It's one of those where I'm like, I could see it being uncatchable, but I think part of the reason it's uncatchable is because the dude's being so interfered with, there's no way he would have been able to get it. Because I think there was a chance there. So there, I think, was some questionable officiating moments, but overall, I think they kind of canceled each other out enough that I don't think it ruined the game. Anyways, but two good games, very different games. One, there are no points, and the other, there's just points everywhere. But I enjoyed both games. I am looking forward to that Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl. I won't pick it yet. I have like another week. And I really don't know who I'm leaning toward. Because I'm like, look, man, I think the Seahawks are the more complete team. I think they're the better team. I have also seen, and it's a different version of the Patriots, but I've literally seen this story before with the Patriots. So, look, like, I think Seattle should win. I won't be surprised if the Patriots pull it out anyways. And then January in review just really comes down to, like I said, the playoffs have been incredible. So many good games, so many down-to-the-wire games. I want the Super Bowl to feel the same way. I don't really have a dog in the fight, so I won't be sad to see Drake May and Mike Vrabel get a ring. I also won't be sad to see Mike McDonald and Sam Darnold get a ring. Although I'm probably leaning more toward the Seahawks because I would love to see Shaheed get one. Like a Saints player. And one that, like, I think the most of the rest of the fan base really liked. I'd be very happy to see a Saints be a champion. Finished Klebski. Loved it. Playing Kai. Loving it. Has some problems. So, like, yeah, like, it's a Trails game. I'm in my element. I'm in my Kaseki cave. And I've been working on Ayla and, like, making progress. Like, that's basically been January. Gosh, I know there's been a lot of, like, politics shit that have happened, and I don't really want to talk about politics. I just don't. So I just don't think I'm going to. Maybe another time, but not today. So I think that's it. Y'all take care.